Hey ladies, so my hair was falling out in chunks and I thought, oh my goodness, I am not gonna have much hair left if this keeps going on. The drain in the shower was full of hair each time I washed my hair. And what caused that? So let's chat today about hair loss and menopause, things I've done that helped me grow some of my hair back, things that I thought really didn't work so well, and some things that I'm open to trying. So welcome to my channel, Graciously Gloria, where I share tips with women in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Please consider subscribing. And I'd love just to chat first about, some things that happened that contributed to my extra hair loss. So, stress can really cause that. I had a particularly stressful situation happen that put me just under undue stress, and that can trigger more hair loss. Additionally, I had COVID around that same time, and it's been proven that COVID can cause hair loss. So my hair was just falling out. Like I would touch it, and just like 10 strands would come out just like that. It would be all over. Every time I took a shower, my husband's like, what's happening with your hair? I'm like, I would try to put it away. I could show pictures of that. It was a lot of hair. So that can happen as well during menopause. You have your hair is just thinning. So actually each hair strand seems like it's thinner, not as thick. So just that volume you're losing that volume in your hair, right? And then your hair is just not growing perhaps as rapidly. And then you just sometimes get this patchiness where it's just not filling in like it once was. So all these different changes as we go through menopause, in particular, some different stresses in our life that may cause additional hair loss. So love to discuss with you some things that I've done again. So I would say I noticed my thinning hair several years ago when I would put my hair, in a ponytail. That just was not as thick. I didn't have to twist around the ponytail holder as many times. So you could see that right off the bat. You're like, oh gosh, what is happening with my hair? So I started trying some different things. People talk a lot about biotin and how that's helpful. I tried for a whole year a biotin gummy that's kind of advertised for your hair, nails. I tried that for a whole year and don't feel like that made much of a difference in my hair. I also tried the saw palmetto oil, which also has been shown to help with some hair loss and having your hair grow. And I put that on my scalp, rubbed that in. I tried a formula of that. I don't know if I noticed that as much. I also tried pumpkin seed oil, and I did just drink it in spoonfuls. I found some oil that you could just drink in spoonfuls. Tried that for about 6 months. That might have made a little bit of a difference. It kind of had an interesting flavor to it. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of keep that up, but that has been shown. And so those are some of the things I tried that I'm not real sure, how much it helped. I did try the Virtue, and I actually still do use that sometimes, the Virtue shampoo and conditioner. And so that is one other thing that has helped some people. So I've tried that, and I do think that did actually help a bit. So let's discuss some of the things that I have continued to use and what has worked for me. Okay, so they have shown that massaging your scalp actually then is good to activate those hair follicles, wanting them to encourage them to start growing. So a couple of things I do related to scalp massage. One thing is I use this tool right here, and I use this one in the shower. And so I do a double cleanse on my hair. So I do one first wash with my shampoo, and I scrub it in real well with this, and that's massaging my scalp and really getting my scalp clean with this. And it feels good as well when I shampoo. And let me show you the shampoo I use for that first cleanse. This is the shampoo I use for my first cleanse. It has argan oil, and this one is for dry damaged hair. And this one, some people have put on there that it helped them with hair loss. So I thought I'd give that a try, and I've been enjoying that. My hair has been growing back. So like I said, I lost a lot of hair. My hair still is thin, I would say, and thickness level, but I have a lot of new hair growth, and that's really exciting for me. So you'll see a lot of different little hairs growing, and I'll show you a little bit more later, but there's different length growing in now because I have all this undergrowth, and if you touch it, you can feel the little bits of hair growing in, and I kind of will give you some tips on how I tame all the new hair growth. Okay, so with the scalp massage, I had mentioned that I do the scalp massage while I'm doing my shampoo, my first cleanse, and then I will do a second cleanse. And I have also done, done different research about different formulas that people like for hair loss. And my hair tends to be very dry, I'd say, in menopause. So the one I found that's working well for me is called Fonde Boost. And so I use the shampoo and conditioner. I also got the travel size of that. And I just use those large ones and refill my travel size. So I use that shampoo and conditioner when I wash my hair. That's helping, as well as they have a hair mask. So I tend to use that about once a week. Okay, as I mentioned, one of the things I do the scalp massage. So I use this as a mechanical scalp massager. Really easy to use. You just press it on, stick it in your scalp, and move it around. Now, to turn it off, you sometimes have to press it a few times. Okay, now it's off. It's rechargeable, and I do that several times a week at nighttime. Just do that right as I'm just laying in bed a few minutes before I actually try to fall asleep, and do that throughout my whole scalp. Again, that stimulation to your scalp does help with the hair growth. The third thing I do related to a scalp massage is utilize this little tool right here, and you just fill it with some oil or some serum. For your hair, they sell various different kinds, and I'll show you the one that I've been currently using. But once you fill that in, then you can, this is also rechargeable, and you just press it and it massages, and it has a little red light, and you just put that throughout your hair, and that's helpful. I do that maybe like once a week before my shower, because the oil is going to make your hair a little bit more greasy. I usually don't like to put that in and sleep with it on. I like to just do that, kind of let it set a little bit, and then jump in the shower and wash it out. So the one I use has rosemary in it, and rosemary has been shown in various studies to help with hair growth. So I like this particular serum. I put that in my hair. I've created some other ones that I found, like different things on Pinterest, like a DIY kind of serum, where I put rosemary essential oil, some coconut oil, and some distilled water, and put that in a little spray bottle. I liked that, and I would just kind of spritz that in my hair, on my scalp. But the one thing I was using, sometimes it would get clogged. I think maybe it was perhaps the coconut oil. So I don't use that one as much as I tend to go for this particular one. It's important as well what you put in the inside. So what you consume as far as the amount of water, excellent. What you put in is going to show up on your hair, your face, your skin, throughout your body, right? So I consider that as well as part of a plan to get more hair. So studies have been shown that collagen is very helpful. I've tried a few different brands of collagen, and the one that I found that I love the best and will continue to keep purchasing is the Sparkle brand. I like this one, the unflavored one, because I tend to, the different flavors of all the different collagens out there, I tend to not like them, and some of them taste a little, I don't know, odd to me. So this one doesn't really have any flavor, so I like that. I just put a scoop of that in my water, stir that up, and drink that sometime throughout the day. I don't really have a particular time, so usually I do that in the morning most often, but the collagen can help not only your skin, but also your hair. So I do recommend collagen to you. So what are some other things out there that people have tried? Go ahead and comment in the comments on something that maybe has worked well for you, and I would be open to looking at that too. So, what's really popular is minoxidil. So I'm going to show you one that I purchased. Now, I did try this a little bit. I'm going to say that minoxidil is something that is a long-term solution. It's something that you need to decide to really commit to. because once you start it, it's something that you need to do every day, forever. Because what minoxidil does is it's going to extend that growth phase. So your hair has a shedding phase and a growth phase. Now, if you first start using minoxidil, you are going to trigger the shedding phase. So you're going to have some hair shed and you're going to think, oh my goodness, this is not working. But you need to recognize that that is going to happen. And then that will hopefully then, as you continue to use it on a daily basis, it's going to extend that growth phase. So the reason I have not decided to do that right now, I tried it briefly of the foam formula, which I found I did like better, first off. Second, it did cause a little bit of itchiness to my scalp, so I kind of had to just be aware of that. They say the foam versus the regular liquid tends to cause less itchiness. But the reason I haven't really committed to doing that right now is I decided I want to try some of these other things first and see how those work before I commit to something that I'm going to have to use pretty much every day forever. And but I know that's an option out there, and a lot of people have found success in that. Now, the thing I will also mention about the minoxidil is that there's ones that are targeted for women and for men. And in my research, I found that women can use the one for men, the 5%. You can get it even, there's the name brand, Rogaine, but you can get just the generic one even at Costco, and it's sold for men at 5. And that one has been shown to be effective for women. So I would recommend that if you want to try minoxidil. This is the one I mentioned, that's the minoxidil for men sold at Costco. So some of the other things that I've considered, one is red light therapy. They actually sell one that combines red light with laser therapy targeted for your scalp for hair growth. They sell it in a baseball cap version or a thicker headband version. I have seen information about that being very effective. The one reason I have not tried that is it's expensive. So that's the only reason, but it's something I definitely would be open to. The other option that is more expensive as well is platelet-rich therapy, and that where they pull out the platelets and they inject that back into your scalp. That's also more expensive, but that has been shown to be effective. So those are some things I would definitely consider in the future if I, had the funds to do something like that. Okay, so you've tried these various things to get your hair to grow. You can take some suggestions that I've given to you that have worked for me, but what else do I do? Because I am definitely having some hair growth, and as I can say, you can see that the little hairs growing in and they kind of stick out throughout. But what do I do to kind of now make my hair look smoother and nicer now that I have all this hair growth coming in, right? So I'm going to talk about that next. What do I do about that? And some other tips to kind of, what would I call it? Camouflage it a little bit. So let me share some little tips regarding that next. So one thing that I do, and this is a tip that one of my best friends shared with me, and she was like, Laureate, you know what? You might want to try a little of this hair powder. And I was like, ooh, what is the hair powder? I need to know about that. And so I have now tried a couple different versions of the hair powder. I'm going to show you the one I used from Clairol. Is the one that I keep kind of going back to. Comes in various shades, really easy to apply. It's a little powder. I just stick it in my scalp in the little spots that I want to look thicker. And it doesn't flake onto my face. Super great. I could use a little comb to kind of just like brush it in slightly more, but they sell various forms of hair powder. And I would recommend that, and that kind of makes your hair look thicker. So fun little trick right there. Okay, so what else do I do to make my hair look thicker? Another thing that I've considered are extensions. Now, the one reason I haven't done extensions is because that is costly, takes a lot of time for maintenance and the cost of it, and it can tend to pull on your hair, so the hair that you do have is gonna maybe get weaker and kind of break off. So, but I do say that people who have extensions, it looks good. So it is something to definitely consider, but I have tried a less expensive option, something that I don't have to maintain all the time. This one is by BFB Hair. So this is actually real human hair, and I guess different ladies grow this and sell their hair to make this lovely product that they sell. So this literally just clips into my hair, and I'm not going to do exactly how I do it, but I'll kind of give you a little tip about it. But you need to basically pull some hair back, and then you kind of clip it in, and then put some hair over is kind of the main premise of that. But you can see how that added to the thickness of my hair. They have it in several different shades. You can get it to match your hair color, either what your natural color is, or mine is my natural color / I color it because I have gray hair growing in it through menopause. To I have my shade is really, this is my natural shade, but yet it's now with hair coloring to get that shade, ladies. And so you just clip these in, and you can just use them, clip them out when you don't want to use them. It could actually, you could clip it towards the back, and just when you're using a ponytail, for example, to make that ponytail look thicker. So I do love these clip-in extensions. I think another thing related to extensions, that I have a great friend who uses a halo. So she just pulls up her hair, lays that halo in, and then it just goes throughout her hair, making her hair look thicker. You can also use those in different lengths to make your hair look longer as well. So that is something that I've definitely considered one of those. Those are more expensive than just these little extension clips here, but a halo would be a great option to add thickness to your hair. That's something you could take in and out of your hair. So another thing that I think helps my hair look thicker is to curl it. So I'm going to pause this for a moment, curl my hair, come back and show you, see what you guys think. Does it look thicker to you? I tend to find that when I curl my hair, and I have various different curling irons that I use for that, and I can do like a how-to video on different methods I use to curl my hair. But I do find that it tends to look thicker. So I'm gonna pause for a second, curl my hair, come back and show you that. And then I'm gonna show you a few little tips about how do I handle these flyaways of this new hair growth and make that hopefully look a little better. Okay, ladies, I'm back. I curled my hair with my Conair hair wand, and what do you guys think? I think it looks thicker. So I tend to find when I curl my hair, that does look thicker. Now, like I said, I've had some different hair growth, so that's great. And I find that now I have to deal with the flyaways, okay? So happy problem to have, right? Because I wanted my hair to start growing back, and it did. So that's a great thing. So here are some products that I used that help me with the flyaways. Now I'm gonna say that I have not found any of these to be like a perfect solution because I'm constantly having like new little hairs sticking out, but it does help it look better. So they have these great little ones that are kind of look like a mascara in a sense. So it has a mascara wand, and you just literally like brush that in, and it smooths down those flyaways. And this one smells really good. I have two different ones that I pick. This is one I originally tried, then I heard about this one recently. So I actually do prefer both of them. I like both of them. Easy to stick in your purse for on the go or on a vacation. So again, you just kind of brush that in. So that helps with some of the flyaways. Hair oil is great because I don't know about you, but like I said, in menopause, my hair tends to be drier. So I do love the hair oils, and that can kind of smooth things down. I have a couple different hair oils that I like. This one is by Moroccan Oil. So I use this one, just put a little bit, rub that in. I mean, I can show you here what that looks like, and adds a little nice shine and softness to your hair, and adds that moisture. So I just kind of smooth that in. And this one smells good too, the Moroccan Oil. So that kind of helps with the flyaways. And then the other one I use is by Virtue, and I like this hair oil as well. I've tried some other ones, but I would say these are the ones I tend to keep coming back to. The other thing I would say about when I curl my hair, some of those little hair that are growing in, they kind of blend in a little better when my hair is curled versus when I just do it straight, blow dry it straight, or even perhaps use like a flat iron to straighten it. So hair oil is great. A tip that my hairstylist gave me was to use a little comb and some hairspray. And then she told me what to do is just to spray a little hairspray onto the comb and then use that to brush it in. Now that works, I think I like that a lot if I'm doing like more of a straight hairstyle versus the curly style, but that's another tip right there for you. So I hope that you learned something today, ladies, that was going to help you with your hair loss, menopause, thinning hair journey that we are all on, and that you can utilize that. And I know that, having good hair is important to us, and we go out into the world and we like to look nice. So I hope that some of these things can help you as they have helped me. And I would say, if you are seeking more medical advice for that, a particular doctor you would want to go to for that is a dermatologist, because they can help with hair loss. So I'd recommend that to you. And again, ladies, I thank you for joining and for your time today. Please consider subscribing, and you are all wonderful, awesome, and unique. Take care. Till next time. Bye-bye.